Welcome back to Runabout Revival. In this episode, we're continuing our mission of refinement and strategic planning with a full slate of interior and electronic upgrades. Whether you're captivated by the finesse of interior restoration or intrigued by the prospects of cutting-edge technology integration, I'm happy to have you along for the ride. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This is Runabout Revival. Well, hello. It's another weekend. Getting caught up on the car here. Parts have showed up finally after weeks of waiting, and I'm starting to put them together and actually get that stuff into the car. So one thing I was waiting on was that cover for the center. It came in from Poland, actually, from Redline Automotive Accessories, or redlinegoods.com. It's a piece of leather that I went ahead and actually attached to the center console. More on that here in a minute. Here's the flyer that came with the leather from Redline Goods for the center console. If you notice down here, they have a code, REDLN2103639, for a 10% discount if you decide to order. They actually have a complete set of leather goods for the interior of this car. Anything from the console behind the driver's seat there, between the two seats, to the center console like I have, even an entire dash cover if your dash is looking a little rough after you fix the splitting like I did with those metal bars. You could also use that leather to cover up any kind of blemishes you might have on the factory leather, so keep that in mind. A couple things I was waiting for to get started on the wiring harness here. This single and double shielded 20 gauge cable. Got those from DIY Auto Tune. And then also I needed for my map sensor some of these AEM style connectors. And for whatever reason, I could not find them anywhere except for this supplier in China. So I had to wait a couple weeks for those to show up. Another reason that I've been kind of behind on things is just waiting for things to finally show up. A couple more brands I wanted to shout out. Super Class, or Super Classy, I'm not sure. These are the guys that I got my shift boot from, and shift boot for the shifter as well as the e-brake. And then Remington Industries, that's where I get all my wire. I use SXL wire because it's both oil proof, high temperature, and a really high quality wire. I would suggest, if you're going to be creating your own wiring harness, to use SXL wire if you're not going to use the very high-end motorsport stuff, TFL or whatever it is. For most of our purposes, SXL wire is going to do the trick. Finally got my last set of different gauge wire. This is 16, 20, and 12. 12 is really just for a couple solenoids and things like that that require a little bit more power. Most of the harness is going to be 20, and some of the harness is going to be the 16 gauge here. And now that I have the wiring I need, and I have most of the connectors I need, I'm going to go ahead and start actually assembling the new engine harness here shortly. I have a couple days off here coming up next week, so plan to get cracking on that pretty soon. Some of you might have noticed this in the background in some of the other photos. Actually, when I was alluding to it in the last video, I actually panned right over the actual stereo unit itself. I put in this Alpine unit in the dash to replace that single DIN in the pocket that we had in there before. This unit is nice because it has an expandable spot on the back. You can add later a 4-channel or a monoblock amp. I think I'm just going to install this for now. I'm not really concerned too much with the stereo in this car, but this will make it look a lot cleaner, a lot more modern, and as you know, I like that. To make these double DIN mounts work, these are the factory mounts. There's these dimples. Here's some that aren't drilled out yet. See those? They stick out. There's one here, one here. Actually, I have to drill some of those out. So I've already drilled out one that was right here. And I'm drilling out one that's right there. You can see on the back where that drill spot is. There's still the divot. I drill out here, up here, and this one right here. Since I have the right bracket ready to go, I drilled through the 2 dimples so it lays flat. I'm going to put the 2 screws in on the top here, and then finish the bracket on the left side. Do the same on the other side. Oop, oop, caught it. Alright, I'm going to put this down so I can screw this in. I just got done wiring in the new stereo wiring to the existing Toyota wiring in the dash, to the adapter that plugs into the back of the new Alpine unit. And just to try something new, I actually used these shrink coating with the solder in the middle that melts. I'm going to test everything. Looks like it worked really good. I'll let you know. There's the new screen. I haven't fully installed it yet. The wiring's done except for this grounding cable, which is going to ground right here. I'm just going to figure out which one of those straps I'm going to put it onto, but that's the new screen as it sits, and I think I like it. So More to come on that. Also new are these. I forgot how stupid the taillights look. I really prefer when you hit the brake pedal, all four go red. And then otherwise they're just kind of glowing. So we're gonna fix that. These are dual pole. If you notice in there, there's two spots, two contacts locations. On the bottom, if you notice the factory ones, which I don't have out yet, they have a single one. And so two lights kind of get brighter for the brakes and two just kind of stay illuminated. We want all four to do the same. So we're gonna switch these out and rewire the taillight harness just inside the trunk coming up. So I got in here and started looking at the existing moguls that I have for the bulbs. And actually they are already a 3-pin. And sure enough, when you take the bulb off, just like these, there are two different spots for the electrode there. I mean, they were only $10 for the set. I don't even have to do any wiring. It's not the worst thing I ever spent $10 on, that's for sure. If you'll notice here, I still have the regular bulb in for the turn signal and for the corner marker, just because they're actually coming tomorrow and I'm not going to wait yet another day for parts to show up before I post this video. So just imagine those are in there and we'll go from there. Another small update. This is an LED flasher relay that I'm going to swap in to go see the other one. It's down here on top of the yellow one. You see that? Blue writing. It says flasher. I'll pull it out. Try to pull it out. Pull the whole thing out. So here's the new one. Here's the old one. And it's got that little boot on it, so we're going to try to take that thing off, switch it over. You don't have to take this off the bottom of this one, you just slide that other one in. This one does have a 4th pin on it, I noticed, this other one, but when you put the cover on it, it actually covers it, so looks like only the same 3 pins are active. We'll see if it works. I don't know if you can see it. It's above the yellow relay there, just all black square. That's the new LED one. This super old battery, which was testing at maybe 1 volt when I took it out of the MR2, I thought it was toast, but I put it on the Neko Genius charger. I think it was like $29 on Amazon. I'll link it below. Going forward, I'm going to start using some affiliate links, so just so you know, I do get a small commission for selling these things, but it's really just to kind of show you guys what works and what doesn't work from my own experiences and share that with you guys. Anyways, currently I just checked, it's been on the charger for about 24 hours now, and it's at about 11 volts. We're getting there. So I finally showed up, did the paint, I got the adhesion promoter and the 15013 Landau black, which I guess is unanimously considered the closest to Toyota black available. So here is the newly painted, sorry it's a little dark out here, but it looks just like new. So I'm really excited to put that back in there. Comparison wise, this wasn't even as bad as it really was, but you can see it's so much blacker now. Way better. I'm gonna fix this one. This had a crack in it, so I super glued it, ready to paint that. I'll spray it with the adhesion promoter while it's still wet, you know, tacky wet. I'm gonna hit it with the light color black, and that will actually infuse the color with the plastic, allegedly. And then once that starts to, you know, dry a little bit, flashes, then you want to spray it again. I gave it 2, maybe 3 coats. Looks really good. Can't wait to put it all together and finally reveal the dash now that it's taken so long to get everything together. Almost there. I also painted that piece here. The only reason I haven't put this back into the spot here and mounted this thing back in the car now that I have the head unit in there is because I'm actually waiting for a double USB-C charger spot that I'm going to mount into that hole where the old cigarette lighter was, so I can charge my iPhone and power a GoPro or things like that. More to come on that. Also coming along, but not quite ready to put into the car yet because it takes about 24 hours each time I glue one of these flaps down. But this is the recovered, and I still have to pull this side tight, so there's a little bit of wrinkles and space there. Just working my way around the shifter here. I already glued this side and this side, not doing the front, and then the very front here. I'm going to wrap this around, wrap this under, pull it tight, wrap it under, and then I got to go down here. I actually got a little glue on it. I have to brush that off there. I don't have the center console in this car because the harness bar goes through where that storage container would be. So I'm going to have to figure something out for this area here, and this is not quite done yet either. I'm going to pull this tight. It'll look a lot nicer here. As you can see, already looking a lot better than what was in there before. This side also has a little kind of a weird shape to it, so for the e-brake, so getting that indentation glued in as well. Also want to show you the shift boot here. It's just sitting on top of where I have those clamps, and it's got a little oil on the end of it, it looks like, so don't mind that little splotch there. But this is actually the new shift boot, already glued into the surround piece that pops into that bezel. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. There's a couple loose threads at the top there, but that's going to be covered up when I put it into the car and put the shift ball on top. So looks real good. Matches the blue stitching here with the blue stitching here. I don't know if you can tell. They're from two different companies, so it looks a little bit different, but I still think it looks nice. So kind of is coming out weird, it looks like in this camera image from the Lite, but looks better in real life. So this is what I'm thinking for the ECU and fuse box and all that. This used to have a sub in, I just took it out. Pretty sizable spot. I think it's 40 centimeters by about 17 centimeters, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to build a plate to mount all three. I've been kind of using this top cover. I removed it and use it as a plan. That carpeted rectangle is about the space inside there. So just kind of playing around with various arrangements. And I think I come up with a plan that works. It's going to be a multi-deck unit. I'm not sure what I'm going to make it out of yet. Probably either plastic or aluminum. It's going to have the AEM on top, and then the fuse box on the left side, and then underneath it going to have 5 relays. And then the wire from the new wiring harness is already actually down here. That's not it. This one right here from our new body harness, so that'll plug right into the Molex that connects into that board, and then it'll just go back through this. There's a hole about right here where the wire normally goes from the cabin through to the back, so we're going to pass the engine wires out through that hole and into the engine bay instead of back to the trunk and then back to the engine bay. So more to come on that.